Welcome to Treknicity, a Star Trek podcast. I'm your host, Lars.
And I'm Patrick.
In this episode, we are going to talk about Lower Decks Season 3, Episode 7, A Mathematically Perfect Redemption, where we get the return of one exocomp, a.k.a. Peanut Hamper.
Yeah, unfortunately, we also get scarred for life with some interspecies erotica that I think we're going to have fun with. So let's just get into this, because if you're listening to this, you're already about to get spoiled. Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah, I just want to know, is it truly interspecies erotica, or is it because is exocomp technically a species?
We'll get there when we get there, please. Ugh.
That's fine.
I don't want to pre-spoil because I want to give people... Sorry, my brain just kicked into porn mode and what you can replicate on the end of an exocomp. So it starts back... So this episode actually starts back Season 1, Episode 10. The Packlids are carving the shit out of the Cerritos, and everybody on the ship's in sickbay try to figure out how do we stop them. They figure they got to get somebody with some computer capabilities on the ship, undetected, to stick a virus in there. And of course, everybody looks at Peanut Hamper, the hero. She nopes out. Says she joined Starfleet to please her, to piss off her dad, and transports her ass off the ship.
Yeah, pretty much.
What a cunt. I really, really don't like her. Your thoughts?
Well, the thing is, I kind of, I watched the episode and I was like, why don't, I just had trouble just picturing it. And I was like, oh, yeah. Crap, all the way back then. Okay.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's pretty much on par with what we were seeing from the episode in Season 1. And I was like, okay, well, the episode or the title says it's a, mathematically perfect redemption. Like, okay, are we going to see Peanut Hamper redeem herself?
Well, let's see what happens. So she's drifting in space, mocking them the entire way because she knows she chose wisely. The shuttle goes flying across, smashes into the ship. Then the big explosion. She's glad she didn't go there, and then the Cerritos finds itself surrounded by 3 Packlid ships. And then the Titan comes rocking in, kicks the shit out of everything, tractors Cerritos away, leaving Peanut Hamper there, figuring they'll have to scan for non-organic life forms, and then we cut to the opening credits. In the opening credits, this time slow music.
Yeah.
As we watch the wreckage, the Peanut Hamper drifting through. We even see in some point, we see Rutherford's implant is floating through one shot.
Yeah,
if you're paying attention.
I wasn't sure if that was his implant or where it came from.
Well, remember he get ripped out on the Packlid ship and then the whole thing exploded, killing Shax for a couple episodes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how it opens, with a slow song with the credits playing over the scene as we see the wreckage and the star beyond and Peanut Hamper floating through it all.
Kind of reminds me of the episode of TNG when they basically what did they do? Oh, was it? I think it was season 4. No, it was before that. Basically, Lore had been blown out into space, and the funny thing is that when he was floating around in space, he was rescued by a Pack-led ship, I think.
That didn't go well for the Packlids. Darn.
Yep.
So we cut to a good amount of time, which I counted her hash marks. If everything was on there, it's about 74 days. So she's still stuck in there. She's built a friend that she calls Sophia. Basically Wilson. We know what it is. That's the reference.
Pretty much, yeah.
And basically she's bitching about how much Starfleet sucks and the organics suck. No, she could be sending a distress signal, but nope, because she's going to be in trouble if she gets picked up by Starfleet. So instead she builds some crappy little mini bit of ship just enough to get her to warp. She's ready to go, but the Dracmani show up, start tractor beaming everything in. Of course, she throws Sophia to the wolves immediately, and to save her ship, starts up her ship and goes to warp. And then, of course, it explodes and flings her into a planet.
Yep.
It was fun.
So when she comes to, when she basically crash lands on the planet. When she comes to, she's kind of like, "Ooh, what's going on here?" And she realizes that she's in some sort of village, some sort of primitive village. And what was her first word? Rattan.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, back. So yeah, this complete little surprise. She wakes up and basically there's these owl dudes all over the place, and they're called the Areore or whatever that Areola. Yeah, I made that joke a long time before.
Well, yeah, but they also make that joke at the end of the episode too.
We're just gonna call them the Allen bastards.
Allen bastards.
Yeah. Well, Allens are one of the races for a new race from D&D, so they're owl dudes. We'll just call them owl dudes, then it's less confusing. So, of course, she wakes up to this old guy who comes in and mentions something about her power building, her rebuilding her power for several days, which makes me think, which I go back and think that's the first hint that not everything is exactly as we see it.
Right.
Because basically she's stuck on what looks like a pre-warp civilization.
Exactly.
So time passes. He takes Peanut Hamper around the village. Everybody kind of looks afraid. She's just a snarky bitch because it's Peanut Hamper. She discovers they're not part of a pre-warp civilization. They're a pre-warp civilization.
And everything on that planet flies.
Put it exactly. She says, "Wait, you're not from the Federation?" The what now? So no ships ever come here, like, ever? You are the first visitor in my life. Oh, fuck! I beg of your pardon. Yeah, it's just something we space folks say when we're stranded on a backwater planet with no culture. Oh, yes. Fuck, indeed. I'm not bleeping because I don't have to. So, yeah. So everybody's afraid of her, and then suddenly she gets to meet the son, Raw Dog. I mean, Rhoda. I'm not going to call him Raw Dog again.
Doesn't she call him Raw Dog?
We're not going there yet. So the elder, Kaltoris, tells the Raw Dog that Rhoda that he's going to have to show her all the stuff in the village, yada yada. So Peanut Hamper's going along, recording a personal log, shooting tennis balls that she replicates, pissing off Raw Dog. Because damn it, I'm never gonna stop saying that.
I just have a question. Okay, well, actually, go ahead and tell the next part about how she.
She points out everything. He tells her everything in the thing has wings. She makes fun of him because a sky snake flies overhead. She points out, why do you have to call it a sky snake if everything has wings and flies?
Isn't this a snake?
Yeah. So she's out. So they go goat milking. She out milks everything. Are those flying goats? Yes, everything's flying something.
Right. Everything's flying. The pigs fly. The goats fly. The birds fly. The snakes fly. Oddly enough, the only thing that doesn't fly are the flies. They're walks.
Okay. Rhoda is called over by another villager, finds a dead sky snake and his father, who's mortally wounded and is preparing to die. And of course, he passes off leadership. Till Peanut Hamper replicates the hyperspray, boom, fixes him. He's all better.
And gives him a vitamin pack.
Yep.
So I want to ask a question about this because obviously we've seen that she replicates the hyper spray, and then she replicates the tennis balls and all that stuff. Like when you replicate something, you have to replicate it out of raw material.
Yeah.
Where's the raw material? You can't fit inside. Truly can't fit all of that inside the exocomp.
Who knows? I'm not going to worry about.
I know it's Star Trek. I should know better than to ask these questions.
Well, there's probably a scientific explanation, but I don't know it, and I don't care. I'm assuming she takes generic matter from around and beams it in. Boom. Problem solved.
I like my explanation better. A wizard did it.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So more time passes, and she becomes part of the village. She's helping them. She's making everybody healthier, so everything's good. Gets rid of parasitic worms, so the shit's white and oily. Yeah. And then they go to the incubation hut where the eggs of the young are all barely survive, that the hatching process is going to kill a bunch of them. She breaks out, the heat beam, all of them pop out, and now Raw Dog is all amazed and shit, and invites her to go flying with him. They fly through, and he tells her he's full of song, and he sings for her. Oh, it's kind of freaky.
Yeah, it is. That was pretty freaky. But of course, you knew expected. I was expecting more of an Avatar-esque style scene, but no, they didn't. But they still didn't disappoint.
Yeah. So they basically go to a nice, beautiful looking overlook. Raw Dog tells her about himself. She shares some of her shit because, yeah. And then she tells him she can imagine settling down on Areola with him. So Raw Dog and her,
they do.
Well, they fuck. We pretty much cut. We cut, thankfully in time before an exocomp and an owl dude start boning. What the shit? Shall I read the number of F-bombs I dropped in my tweet to you this morning, which I literally had to copy because that.
Yeah. Oh, how long to touch your nozzle.
Your parts are so complicated. Ooh. So after some time, Raw Dog takes her to a cave and discovers there's all kinds of relics. There's a bunch of ships. Apparently they had endless wars and they flew around in space, but then they settled and hid all their technology and gave it up. And of course, he now sees the value of technology. Ooh. And then they do it again.
And again. And again. Many, many times.
Yeah, and apparently he cries afterwards. We'll find that out. Yeah, I don't get why? Give us more naked time.
Okay, so here's the thing. This just takes a massive, giant WTF rubber stamp and poof, right all over it, man. Like you don't even know where it's going to go because this episode doesn't follow the traditional A-B plot sort of thing. It focuses the majority of the episode on Peanut Hamper and her quest to redeem herself. They're on Areola. I mean, never mind. And like normally they've been splitting these episodes into A-B plots, but this one, nope. It's mostly Peanut Hamper doing her thing, or doing her bird.
Why? So we cut some more time passes, and Raw Dog and Peanut Hamper are getting married. She's even replicated the beak and everything.
Yeah, and the veil, the bridal veil.
Yeesh. So they're about to get married. They're in the process of getting married when something appears. Initially thinking it's a sky snake, Peanut Hamper says, "Oh no, it's the Drakmani! They must have tracked me." Oh no, whatever will we do?
Oh no!
Of course, Drukmani just want to rip all the ships out from underneath, which will probably destroy the village. So the fight's on. Peanut Hamper says, "What can we do? Oh, I can do something." So we cut back to the Cerritos. Mariner and Boimler at the front, and the rest of the crew in their normal spots. They get a signal from Areolas, noting it's probably a pre-warp civilization because he keeps saying Areola. So the Cerritos sets off to go get him. I think that's. Yeah, we don't get a lot of the lower deckers or the command crew. I mean, they just a little time here and there. I think they stuck Rutherford on the bridge just so he showed up in the scene in the end. One of the scenes in the end, rather than the beginning.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
there's a big fight. Cerritos shows up.
Yeah, the Drukmani are ripping stuff out of the ground. Peanut Hamper saddles up, gets in, beams, replicates the Starfleet badge, jumps on the shuttle, and takes off to the Drukmani ship. Cerritos arrives, and they watch Peanut Hamper fly the shuttle in, and it's pretty damned awesome. She goes through, takes out guards, blows up the engines. And of course the Drukmani ship goes boom, with Peanut Hamper flying the shuttle out, looking all not dead. Too bad.
Heroic.
Yeah. Either way, it was yes, redemption for Peanut Hamper, yay!
Just jog my memory here. How did she get the name Peanut Hamper?
He calculated a mathematically perfect name.
That's right.
I happen to remember that. Okay, so Freeman, Shax, and Tendi beam down. And Freeman does her first contact thing. Raw Dog interrupts her, and hey, by the way, we're not a pre-warp civilization. We just quit that stuff. But we won because as Peanut Hamper saved the village, we want her to be part of us. They discuss it a little bit, but then suddenly the one of the Ariori ships that was dropped by the Drukmani powers up, and that ship pops up, and they start shooting.
And then they start shooting at the Cerritos as well, don't they?
Yeah, they fly out into space and start blasting the hell out of the Cerritos. And of course, they turn to Peanut Hamper to do it again. She Right,
doesn't she nope out again?
Yeah. Yeah, she starts to nope out. And then the Drukmani claim to they received a subspace message, which of course was sent by Peanut Hamper herself, telling him to come and take shit.
Yep.
She tries to. She then, she refers to him as tree-kissing farmers, so no problem. She tries to argue about it, and basically her whole plan was to get rescued by Starfleet and get off this backwater planet. Raw Dog starts crying, and she points out that he cries after they do it. Tendi asks her to help again, but no, why would she do that? So, Drukmani are still pounding on the Cerritos, and the ship is in trouble. We get a little more action before one of the big Ariori ship shows up. And they figure, it's Peanut Hamper! No, it's Raw Dog. He's flying up there to go kick some ass. And of course he goes and immediately saves the Cerritos. So Raw Dog says the Ariori must protect our way of life, yada yada. They're gonna leave, and they're gonna leave their fear of technology. Yay, happy, happy, joy, joy. Let's see here. Peanut Hamper reappears, trying to claim it. Then refers to him as poor man's Aurelians. And then she tries to go with the Cerritos. The Cerritos doesn't want her. So, of course, she says she's going to call the Borg. Tendi pushes down her antenna. Then Shax pushes down the second time and grabs her, and she starts screaming over and over, resistance is futile. So, of course, they take her to the Daystrom Institute and stick her in the self-aware megalomaniacal computer storage. Right next to Agamus, and we get Jeffrey Combs is back as Agamus. Of course, there's the threat that they're going to pair up in the future. It is glorious.
I want to know who was the worst bad guy, Peanut Hamper or Badgie?
Well, Badgie was victimized. Peanut Hamper's just a twat. So it's absolutely Peanut Hamper all the way. I'm glad.
So this episode was a good break from the usual status quo of the AV plot and such like that, and it focused on a non-regular character. So and that's good because it keeps things fresh. It allows them to take a break from the normal format.
Yeah,
and then they can come back. Like next week, it'll probably be something more in line with what we've used to seeing, and we'll be happy with it.
Yeah, that's the great thing. I mean, we've seen other episodes do it where they pull you out of the action and follow completely different people. I think one of my favorite versions actually is the TNG episode entitled Lower Decks.
Oh yeah,
because we follow Lower Deckers in that episode. I wonder where Mike McMahon got his idea.
Spoiler alert: one of them dies.
Yeah, that's like spoiling the big reveal in Empire, dude.
What?
Yeah.
That Han Solo was Luke's father?
Yes, that. Okay.
So overall, definitely a good change of pace. Definitely a good way to make you think that oh look, we got the redemption arc for Peanut Hamper, and then nope, she's a still crazy bitch.
Yeah, she's a crazy bitch. I'm not gonna finish that one.
Please don't. Yeah.
That there's going to be slash fiction where we get to see what Peanut Hamper's really capable of.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, is she fully functional and programmed in multiple techniques?
Well, she does have a nozzle, so.
And she can replicate tools.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyways, I mean, again,
wow.
Overall, good episode. Looking forward to seeing what next week has in store.
Yep. I mean, yeah, I'm completely satisfied with this one because, yeah. I mean, there's nothing to really relate it to because it's completely a thing where you can just watch it and it's completely separate. I mean, the only thing you need to know of Lower Decks is they show you the previously on.
Right. So you don't have to even, it's self-contained. You can watch it and not have to know anything else about the series because they set the stage right in the cold open, and then you're good to go.
And there's nothing that happens with our main characters other than we know they've changed over several years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it's like a 2-year span the story takes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation when you think about that, but still pretty cool.
Yep. So I think we're going to leave it there.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this episode up. It was just a recap of the episode. We'll be back again next week on... Ooh, I'm losing track of time.
Tuesday.
Yeah, well...
It's always Tuesday.
We record on Tuesday. We release on Wednesday.
Oh, you're right. We drop on Wednesday. Of course, we'll be back. We'll be back streaming Old Men Gaming on Sunday, as usual.
As usual. So... That's all we have time we have for this episode of Treknicity. I'm Lars.
I'm Patrick.
And as always, here on Treknicity, we can encourage you to rock out, with your Spock out. We will see you next time. If I can hit the right button this time.
No, you can't.